Right, today's a little bit different. This is my house in Bradford, and that right there is the highest point in West Yorkshire, Black Hill. No car, no trains. I have to walk the entire way from my front door all the way to the summit. It's roughly 25 to 30 miles depending on the route. There'll be a mixture of woodland, villages, canal paths, busy towns, and then straight into moors where it gets a little bit wild. On paper it doesn't sound too bad, but that's a fair bit of distance, and honestly I've got no idea how this one's gonna go, but if everything goes to plan, I'll be in the Peak District, standing on the highest point in the county by tonight. And if it doesn't, well, we'll find out. Let's go. Oh no, and that's not firm arrest, is it? This is a cool hike. Where am I now? Man's got a marathon to hike. Hope we don't get shouted at now. Bit of Hades wall here, look. I've slipped. Foot stuck in fence. Oh, what? Yeah, path's disappeared. Yeah. So in this video, I'm about to show you that the most random and exciting adventures can sometimes begin right on your very doorstep. It is now 5:53 AM. I set off from my doorstep about an hour ago, and I have just arrived at the border between Bradford and Calderdale. And I'm going to see if I can walk from my doorstep right here in Bradford all the way to the Peak District in one go. And not only is it the Peak District, we are also hiking up the highest hill in my county, which is West Yorkshire. Well, I wasn't going to bring out to cook my food on, but now we've found a microwave, we're sorted, aren't we? So the reason why I'm doing this is because every now and then I'll get a little message or a comment on the channel saying, I don't drive, where can I go for some sort of adventure or a hike? And I just want to prove to people that sometimes the best little adventures can be found right on your doorstep. And what's pretty cool is I know for a fact nobody has walked the exact route that I'm going to walk today. This first little section is dead straightforward. We're just walking through this housing estate or this council estate, whatever you want to call it, and then we're going to be making our way towards the woods. We are just about to enter the woods. Got a feeling it's going to be quite boggy this morning. As you can see, there's already a lot of water on the ground. This little woodland that I'm going to be walking through in a minute is very close to my heart. Not only is it the location of the very first video and my very first solo wild camp on the channel, but it's also the place that I used to go mooching as a kid growing up with my dad. He used to take me down to the woods camping, building fires, and if you do go back to the very first video, you can literally see me opening this gate right here. Hey everybody, welcome to my video. So for those reasons, this location will always be a little bit special to me. Yeah, thinking back now at some of the stuff that we used to get up to as early teens, coming down to this woodland, I certainly wouldn't be in a position to be preaching leave no trace in them days, but I were only a young little whippersnapper. I used to come down with me nice bag of weed, crate of Stella. Mate, good times, man, good times. Used to have no gear whatsoever. You literally, that's if you got any sleep, but if you did, you'd wake up in the middle at night, literally shivering. Oh, good times. So I've decided to make a couple rules up for this little adventure. I must complete the length of a marathon before the end of today. I like that one. That's a nice little thing to tick off for a day's hiking, which, from the route that I have plotted, should definitely cover a marathon because it's like 26.5 miles or something. And we always end up doing a little bit more than what's plotted on the route. Another one is I need to be done before sunset. Hence why I've set off so early this morning, because I have no clue how long it's going to take. And I know there is quite a bit of elevation later on, so I won't be able to go at my usual fast pace. And the reason why I want to make sure I get done by sunset is because I want to get home for 9 o'clock, because tonight is the Apprentice final and I want to make sure I watch it live. Now obviously, depending on what order I decide to release these videos in, this video will either be out this Monday coming or the Monday after. Depends if I do a little shuffle with the old schedule. These are the sort of scruff bags that you see walking through here, carrying a can of Carling and that. Well, I don't mind you carrying it, but don't leave it. Nice little ratchet strap. It's suppose that's a perfect thing to make a swing. Or something else. You know we love a little plaque on this channel. Parking pigs and ginger beer. Near to this site stood the cottage of Judy North, from whom these woods take their name. The North family had a pleasure garden which occupied part of the field to your left in the mid-1800s. A pear tree, from which the Pear Tree pub in Norwood Green supposedly takes its name, grew next to the house. Judy sold ginger beer, parking pigs and sticks of spice. Jeez, man. Bradford's always been on that spice, eh?
Yeah. What are you doing to me?
When she died aged 75 in 1870, the gardens were broken up and the house demolished. So the estate that we were in up there was Woodside, 1.7 kilometres away. And then if you follow this track all the way up to the top, that is where my primary school once stood, but it has since been demolished. Starting to open up a bit again now. Out into the open, out of the woodland. I don't know how you can make it out, but the Pear Tree pub is down there, what we read about on that plaque. I just twatted myself in the face with my bottle. I've got a feeling that's going to come up as a bruise, you know. I hope not. Came flying out of my bag. Hit me right in cheek. That's what I get for pissing about on swings at my age. Now, you might remember we have done this little section before on the Calderdale Way. So I have walked this little section. And from what I can remember, that was the first proper multi-day hike on the channel. And this is no word of a lie. The backpack that I used for that hike, just the backpack alone with nothing in it, will have weighed more than the backpack with everything in it that I'm carrying today. Now obviously I'm not camping today, so I don't have nowhere near as much stuff, but what I'm trying to say is the backpack itself weighed about 2 kg. It was an old Berghaus beast. I remember when I bought that and I thought, well, my mum actually bought me that as a birthday gift when I first got into wild camping. I remember thinking, I'll never need another rucksack, this will last me forever. But obviously I didn't realise that coming in at a whopping 2 kg is very heavy for a rucksack. Yeah, I need to stop messing about. I'm stood there waiting for a train thinking, oh, I'll get a nice little clip at train flying past. I could be waiting bloody ages, messing about on swings and that, taking you down memory lane through Judy Woods. Man's got a marathon to hike. Oh, that feels nice. It's still not even 7 AM. We've got the sun beaming down on us already. How good is it to have these longer daylight hours? Need to cross this busy road now as well. Quite a fast-paced road. Hey yo! Coppers! The Rozzers are parked up. Don't forget poo. I won't do, mate. I'll take it home, won't I? Just got to Bailiff Bridge. Oh, Pizza Junction. It's not bad, that place. Decent value. And that reminds me, I've not even had any breakfast yet today, so that's the next thing on the agenda. I am going to try and get something a little bit nutritious this morning, just to set me up right for the day, do you know what I mean? Well, at least that's breakfast out of the way, set me up good and proper for the day. I had sausage and pancakes, a nice little hash brown on the side, and a donut crumble latte. First time trying this. Did you see that? It's actually on the end of my nose. First time trying this, and it just tastes like every other sort of special latte that they bring out. King kebab, doesn't sound too bad, does it? Sounds like my kind of gaff. Whoa, this doesn't look like my kind of hill. I still can't get over the fact that I'm going to be hiking from my front door all the way to the Peak District. So this little adventure came about because I already had a plan to hike to the Peak District from my house, and then it just so happens I was having a look, where is the highest point in West Yorkshire? So I had a little Google and I found out it was a hill called Black Hill, and although it's in West Yorkshire, it is part of the Peak District. It crosses over into the boundary. So I thought, why not put both of them two together? That sounds like a good little mission, a good little video idea. Hence why that's what we're doing today. So it's something different, innit? So we just got to Brighouse now. I wondered how this was going to work because I don't actually know this area when it comes to walking. But we're now going through the subway. So I used an app called Trail Router to help me plan this hike. And what it does is you put your start point, you put your finish point, and instead of just taking you the fastest way, which is usually following the paths next to the main roads, it sort of takes you on the best sort of footpaths, and you can change it up a bit, you can edit it, you can put how many hills you want to do and stuff like that, and then it gives you a little rundown of the terrain that you're going to be walking on. So for this one, it says minor road 15%, residential road 16%, footpath 52%, track 16%, and then 1% cycleway. So what it does is it tries avoiding the main roads, so that you don't have to cross anything too crazy, too busy. And it just takes you through little shortcuts like that subway that I just did. You know, they're not messing about, and they've got double barrel on old postbox, just in case it gets that busy that you need to use two. So now we're in Brighouse, we've got a worker's way all the way to Huddersfield, but instead of following the paths on the main road, we are going to be following the canal path. That's cool. That's got to be a cool way to live, man. Well, I don't know if they live on it, but a lot of people do. What I will say is it won't forecast any rain today, but I don't know about you, it looks like it's going to shit it down over there. Going through a proper little industrial area now. Loads of units and that. Little garages. So we're just crossing another bridge over the River Calder. Soon we're going to be heading along the Huddersfield Broad Canal, and I think we do follow that for quite a bit. Well, pretty much all the way to Huddersfield, hence the name Huddersfield Broad Canal. Stop at orange sign. I might just do that. Let's give you a little rundown of where we're at so far. So we've been going for 2 hours and 21 minutes. It's 10 past 8 by the way, and we have done 13,200 steps, and we've only covered 6.68 mile. Now bearing in mind I have done a little bit more because I didn't set the watch until the start of the video. Basically hiked to the Bradford Calderdale boundary sign. Looks like we're back at the side of the River Calder. Whack, whack. You see that little entrance right there in the middle of the screen? So you've got the River Calder going to the left. That is the start of the Huddersfield Broad Canal. This is it. The start. Hey, look at that. Pretty cool, isn't it? It's funny that it says no cycling, but yet the only marks I can see on the ground are clearly from a bike. Can't even see any footprints. I'm now going to be following this canal for the next 4 miles or so. And one good thing about these canal paths is they're usually relatively flat. So as long as the terrain is kind to us and it doesn't get too boggy in places, we should be able to move at a nice rapid rate along this next section. But as you might be able to see from the blue line there, as soon as we get to Huddersfield, we are going to be going up, up and up, all the way until Black Hill, which is a hill that until the other day I'd not even heard of. So according to Wikipedia, Black Hill in the Peak District is the highest hill in West Yorkshire. That's why we're doing it. Its summit rises to an elevation of 582 metres, 1,909 feet above sea level. It is surpassed in height by only two other major summits in the Peak District, which is Kinder Scout and Bleak Low. And I'm now looking at the map of the Peak District, and yeah, Black Hill, it's only just getting in there. I didn't even know that any of the Peak District was in West Yorkshire. I thought it were all like South Yorkshire and Derbyshire. Yeah, I were way off with that. I'm learning a lot today. The Peak District is actually in Cheshire, Derbyshire, Greater Manchester, South Yorkshire, Staffordshire and West Yorkshire. What I'm liking about this one is the big contrast between the different areas that we're sort of walking through. So we started off at my house, and then I was walking through familiar territory, through the woodland, down into little villages, went to Brighouse. We're now walking along the canal path. We're soon going to be in the Huddersfield town centre, which is quite busy. It's quite a busy town. And then it's going to be pretty much hitting the wilderness, out in the open countryside, and then we will start the climb. At some point, it might even be all the way to the summit. I know at some point, I've got a feeling we're going to be jumping on the Pennine Way. We're always on the bastard Pennine Way, aren't we? Every damn week. Yeah, this is the terrain that I prefer to walk on. Nice and comfy on the feet, not too boggy either, and it's a lot better than walking along the tarmac or those solid tracks. Although it's quite dodgy here. Plenty of bits where the path has sort of corroded away. I've got a feeling, considering I've not seen a single other person on this path today, and the weather's not too bad, I've got a feeling it's not a very busy route. Quite a bit of it's sort of blocked off with brambles and ferns and whatever the hell these things are. I tripped up then. Could have ended up in sea anal. That looks a bit dodgy to me, that. Fence is about to fall down, completely cover the path. That crisp packet looks like it's from 1980s. Yeah, I've just nearly tripped up again. It's quite hazardous, this, you know. Looks like the path disappears at some points because of all these brambles, or whatever these are, these spiky bastards, man. I've already nearly cut my arm once. Look at all the scrapes there. It's all really overgrown and the path's completely disappearing. That feels awful, that, underfoot. Because it's like there's a fence here that's fallen down, and we're sort of walking along the fence that's balanced on the edge of the canal. I'm sure I said that this is the section where I'm going to be making up on lost time and moving quite fast. You know what I'm saying? Look at this, we've got ropes strapped at fence post just to get you down safely, because the path completely disappears here and we've got to drop down, we've got to climb over this little fence that's fallen over. That's where we've come from. So I'm having to use the rope. This is awful, this, because I'm fully relying. I'm bloody abseiling here at the moment. I've slipped. This is bad. Foot stuck in bastard fence, that's it. Yeah. I think we're climbing K2. Not for the faint-hearted, this, you know. I think I'm stuck. I think we're going to end up completely running out of path. Well, we have. We've run out of path. You can't get through. It's gone. There's nowhere to go unless we go behind that container. Let's have a look. Oh, not these spikes again. Right. Is that the path then? So we abseiled down there and we weren't even supposed to. I knew that didn't look right. But this looks worse. This just can't be a path. We're going to get stuck again. We're now in someone's bloody work yard. Yeah, we can't get through.
I hope we don't get shouted at now, because we well look like we're trespassing onto someone's property. You alright, mate? Oh, what? Yeah, path's disappeared.
Yeah. You used to be down there, but now it's gone. Oh, you need to go back here.
Yeah.
Get road open, go main road.
And then back onto it.
Back on the, you can go other side to the river.
Okay.
Go that way, you say you're going.
I'll just go that way. Yeah, I'm going that way towards Huddersfield. Yeah. Right, sound. Appreciate it. Thank you. How does this shit happen? See what I mean? Adventure wherever you go. So no wonder no one's walked on that path since bloody 80s. It doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know what dodgy website I was using to help me plot this trail, but it doesn't bode well, does it? Considering the paths don't even exist. Right, I'm hoping this means we can get back round onto Canal path. Back on the Canal path. Yes, my mate. Alright, this, isn't it? I like this. Cooper Bridge. Welcome to the Huddersfield Broad and Narrow Canals. Let's have a look. The Ramsden Canal. The canal was designed to link Huddersfield with the major waterways of Yorkshire in the 18th century, an age when the woolen industry was expanding at a phenomenal rate. The Ramsden family, then lords of the manors of Huddersfield and Almondbury, were closely involved in the textile trade and had the cloth hall built in Huddersfield in 1766. In the same year, the 3rd Baronet had a survey made for the Broad Canal between the town and the Calder and Hebble Navigation at Cooper Bridge. It was intended to give easy access to the large towns of Yorkshire and to local coal deposits. I bet that gaff costs a pretty penny, right next to this sea anal. I love a notice board, me. Towpath improvements, yeah. Get a bloody building it further on, cocker. I don't know what you're playing at. Look at this. Beautiful tarmac. Try finishing the damn thing. So because of those issues back there, even though I said we've got about 4 miles or so until we leave this canal, we've only done half a mile since then, and that were about 45 minutes ago. Pissing about building brand new benches and that. Laying fresh tarmac. Get building over there. Use that wood and finish that bastard trail. Alright, Dot. Proper ghetto around here, innit? But they make it work. Look at all these ratchet straps being used again. You've got ratchet straps holding this fence up so it don't blow over. And then what else have we got? We've got them all the way on, look. All the way on the fence. And is this finished? Is this the finished product? Or is this just a temporary measure? Little bendy wendy on there. I reckon that's it. That's the finished product. We just make it work and live with it until it needs repairing. What is this? A ship pipe? Bridge 3A pipe bridge. Could be a ship pipe, couldn't it? Yeah, we're only a matter of time. I think it's raining. Only ever so slightly, just spitting, but definitely raining. Not enough to get the waterproof one yet though. Can't be arsed sweating my bollocks off wearing that. Another pipe bridge 3. If anyone knows what all these pipe bridges are, let me know. Oh, that is it. The bag of shite final boss. Going in on the old graffiti around here. Look at this. Yo. Alright, mate. Bridge 4, railway. It's a nice piece, isn't it? Better than shit pipe next to it. Bastard. That's got to be the ultimate bendy wendy. Look at bendy wendy on them rugby posts. Well, you know what they say, you wait all day for a bus to come along, and then out of nowhere come 20 of them. What is this place? It's certainly not a bus station. Don't know what this place is, but it stinks of shit. That's seen better days, hasn't it? It's been burnt out. More than likely stolen. Rather in than me. We are now in the Huddersfield town centre, and I have left the canal path for a little bit. We're just sort of going to meander his way through the town centre, and then hopefully sooner rather than later we're going to jump back on that same canal path, which I didn't actually realise we were doing that until I just had a quick look on map. I forget that I actually went to college in Huddersfield for a couple of years. I studied music tech at Huddersfield Technical College back in the day. I don't know what I thought I was going to be doing with my life, studying music tech, but I guess learning how to make beats and all that lot has kind of come in handy because the feature on the channel, so it was worth it. Get you sent to college. Town centres are pretty wild, aren't they? But this seems relatively calm in comparison to what Bradford's usually like. So I went to Greg's, got myself a caramelised biscuit latte, and I was wanting to try one of those new chicken rolls which have just come out. Obviously normally you get sausage rolls, but they've brought out chicken rolls. Me, like a dickhead, ordered a chicken bake, and she passed me it. I looked at it and I thought, shit. But I didn't even say out. I just took it. So I've still not even tried a chicken roll. I don't know if I've ever had a chicken bake, but I'm sure it'll be nice. I just shit myself when she passed me the wrong one and didn't dare say out. Well, she didn't pass me the wrong one. She passed me the right one. I ordered the wrong one. See, we're walking through town centre, and I wouldn't have had a clue about these little subways to take you round all the busy roads. That's why that app that I used has done alright, apart from that shitty little path that didn't exist. It's not done a bad job so far. Just past St John Nike Leisure Centre. I need to find somewhere to munch this really, or at least finish my drink, and then I've got a spare hand. Yeah, I think we turn on here towards the Sikh Temple, the Sikh Leisure Centre and Sikh Temple. No tipping. Looks like we're going down here. No tipping. Oh yeah. A little too late there, mate. Look at the state of this. And that's not firm arrest, is it? What a shithole. And I'm here walking around with an empty coffee cup. And you know why? It's because I'm not a twat. So I will wait until I find a bin. Unlike all these suckers here. Let's go for the old test on the chicken bake. It's exactly as I expected it to be, but not really my cup of tea. I need to go up there. I mean, I'll eat it because I'm starving, but I'd much prefer a steak bake if I were going to get any kind of bake. I'm intrigued to find out what is behind this picture frame. What could it be? Oh, nothing. It's an old mirror. Right, I think I've slightly gone wrong here. I need to get back on the canal path now. It's somewhere down here. Judging by the map, oh, it says I'm on course again now. I can't see the canal. I think it's there, opposite side of all this fence and that. Where am I now? And what the hell is going on? Is it up there? Can't tell if it's up there or no. Straight down middle here. This is us. Public footpath. Get in. What a lovely scenic view. This is nice, isn't it? This is alright, this. Bit of woodland. Let's have a look down here. Let's go off course a minute. See what I go on. Hey, up. Is this a Sienna? I think it is. Let's have a look. I can't see on that map. I can see that it's summer. Yeah, it's the Huddersfield Narrow Canal. Do you know, like earlier, we were walking past the Huddersfield Broad Canal, and it was broad. Well, this one is narrow. You'd never have guessed that, would you? It's narrow because it is the Huddersfield narrow canal. Sea anal. Tell you what is quite worrying. Look at all that ascent we've still got to do. That is mental. We've practically got to climb a mountain at the end of this. Once we get past all this sloppy turd, I'll give you a progress update. Right then, so it is currently 10:43 a.m. We have been going for 4 hours and 55 minutes. We've done 28,402 steps. So far we've done 14.25 mile and we've got 12.5 mile remaining. So the good thing is we are bang on track. We've made some really good progress. We're past halfway now, but I've got a feeling this is where the hard work truly begins. We've been leisurely walking, strolling so far, taking it nice and easy, but this is where it's going to get harder because we're going to be going into the more rural areas, I reckon. Slowly gaining more and more elevation as we get closer to the Peak District. I can't wait to get to Peak District. I still can't believe, I know I said it earlier, that I can set off from my front door back in Bradford and end up at the Peak District in one day. That's quality. I don't know what you call this, but I like it. Yeah, this is nice. Not the easiest on the feet. Very Loch Lomond-esque with all the rocks and the roots and all that sort of tackle, but nice scenery. Ignore all that, all them factories and whatever they are, mills and that, but apart from that, bit of greenery, nice little river. That's not a canal, is it? That's a river. There's nothing like an old burnt divan bed to improve the scenery. It's like it's almost perfect, but then you just see an old pallet and a load of old smashed bottles and you think, shit all. This is the best bridge I've ever walked across. Look at the chin on this guy. Looks a bit like Bart Simpson on crack, but with glasses, and he's green, and he's got a big chin. So he looks not like Bart Simpson apart from spiky hair. Another firm rest, Neo Air X-Firm Super. You know what I mean? There's even a vacuum. You'd think they'd do a little bit of cleaning up. You've got all the appliances there waiting for you. Looks like we are finally going to end up back on the canal path. What a lovely day it's turned out to be. That rain didn't last long, did it? Couple of drops and that was it. Glad I didn't bash my waterproof on. I'm wondering how close are we going to have to get before we actually see this black hill that we're going to have to climb, and will it be black as well? That's a good question. And will we see welcome to the Peak District sign? That would be cool. I very much doubt it because there'd have to be a lot of signs, wouldn't there? So for us to land bang on the border where there happens to be a sign, then we'll get quite lucky if that does happen, but it would be good, so we'll see. But I will be keeping an eye out on the map just to see when we do cross into the land of the Peak District. Nothing like the sound of a scrap metal yard in full swing. Oh yeah, it's opening up now, isn't it? All the fields in the distance. You can see it's getting higher as well over there. Make sure we're going the right way. Yep. Following this canal all the way on. But I'd say we're smashing this. I don't know if you can see that, but 9.98 mile left to go. Really happy with the progress. So it looks like the closest village, or whatever you want to call it, is Linthwaite, and we are not far off Slaithwaite. And then we'll be going to Marsden. Once we get to Marsden, that's his last opportunity before we get to the Peak District to grab some supplies. So if I need any drinks or like that, Marsden's the place for it, because they've got a co-op. But so far I'm doing alright. I'm still on my original bottle. That's so bad, innit? I know I've had the coffee at McDonald's and the coffee at Greg's, but I've only had about 600 ml of water. That is so poor. What's this guy flying about on? Has he made that himself? Let's go have a look. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, this looks like the place, this. Really nice village. Everyone's buzzing around here. I'm going to make most of this and cross as well. Thank you.
Britain.
That is the ultimate shit pipe final boss. Can't imagine what these boat guys had to do before solar. He's got loads, or she. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 solar panels there, and one of them were a big jocker. I need to get myself something like this, something like that little blue number there with a little Yamaha engine on back. Micro Plus 501. How much are them? Like realistically, how much would that cost? Can you sleep in that? I think you can, can't you? But then again, where are you putting it? Starting to see some hills in the distance. I'm not sure if that's where we're going. Looking pretty grim though, isn't it? The weather and that looks like it could rain. We are pretty much at Marsden now, I think, so this is where we say goodbye to the Huddersfield Canal. Well, I didn't stay in Marsden for too long. I literally just nipped in Co-op, grabbed myself a couple drinks and a cheeky little pack of these 8 mini brownie bites. And then I've got a bottle of Lucozade Sport Raspberry, and to treat myself when we get to the top, a Pepsi Max Cherry. Oh no, just a Pepsi Max, just a regular average Joe local schmuck Pepsi Max. Also Costa Coffee caramel latte. We're not quite at the Peak District yet, but friends of the Peak District boundary walk, we're getting there. But according to my map, we're not at the Peak District yet, but we are less than half a mile away. I don't know where and I don't know how, but I've left my latte, my caramel latte Costa. Too busy stuffing my face with these brownies. I'm going all the way back down this hill. Trust me, this isn't what I need, but I'm not leaving that there. How have I done that? I've Of all the places to forget something, and it would just after doing a hill climb. I bet you it's just round this corner. Am I tripping me or what? So where is it? Costa Coffee Caramel Latte. It's here. So I've got it out my bag. Said I'm going to drink it. Put it back in my bag. Walked all the way up the hill. Walked back down thinking I've left it at the bottom. And it was in my bag all along. What a palaver. Too busy stuffing my face with these brownies to notice what's going on. That's nice. I think this is it, you know. I think this marks the start of the Peak District. Oh no, tell a lie, we're not quite at the boundary line yet. The boundary line's up there, 0.06 miles away. I'd say it's here though, innit? Nearly fell. Wessenden Valley. Looks like the Peak District, doesn't it? So it must be the Peak District. Look at them rocks. That's as Peak District as you're getting. God, it is really nice though, isn't it? Round here. Well, at least it's good to know that we can make it to the Peak District from my front door. That is class, that. I love that. But we have still got just short of 5 miles until we get to the summit of Black Hill. And speaking of Black Hill, I've still not seen it. I keep checking up map to see if the ones that I can see furthest in the distance are Black Hill, but because we're sort of winding round paths with hills at either side, I don't think I've seen it yet. I've got an app on my phone called Peak Finder, and if you hold your camera up to wherever you're looking, it'll literally show you what mountain you're looking at or what hill. So it's picked a few of these surrounding ones up, but Black Hill is just over in the distance. But like I said, we're still 5 miles away, so I'm hoping once we work our way through this valley for a little bit longer, we're back on flat now for a little bit, so we can get the pace back up, and then we've got the final little push. I think it's only like the last mile. It's looking a little red on my footpath app. If it's like white, the ascent, you know it's flat. Can you have a flat ascent? You can't have a flat ascent because then it's not an ascent. If it's white, it's flat. And then if it's like yellow, it's sort of gradual. And then it goes red. And then it goes purple. When you're going up like towards Windy Gap, Great Gable, the gap between Great Gable and Green Gable in Lake District. Man, I miss the Lake District. Need to get back there ASAP Rocky. But yeah, when you're going up the Windy Gap towards Green Gable and Great Gable, the Gable brothers, Phil and Grant, it shows purple on the app, so you know you're in for one hell of a hike there. Whereas this is just showing red, but it's only for a relatively small section as you get closer towards the peak of the hill. And then I need to decide how I'm getting back. Probably going to be an Uber, because that's just going to be the easiest. There is a road like a mile from the summit, or I could hike back down to Marsden and get an Uber from there. We'll see. As long as I can get to a road, I'll be able to pinpoint where the taxi can pick me up from. But anyway, let's not think about that right now. We've got to get to the top. But yeah, I was thinking then to myself, I'm well overdue a camp in the Lake District. I know, guys, I know that's what you're wanting, some mountain camps, but this week I've just been a little bit busy in terms of camping. Like today was my only day really that I was free to go out, and the weather's been a little bit shitty. I don't mind the wind and the rain, but it's just been foggy, so I just didn't fancy it. I didn't fancy the fog. Whereas down here the weather were looking all right, so I thought I'll just do a nice big long hike. And I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, just something different, innit? Switch it up every time. That's what I'm trying to do, so that I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. I've told you this before. So yeah, the next chance I get, I will be going up to the Lake District and we'll do a mountain summit camp, because it is well overdue. And trust me, I've said it before, the longer I spend away from the Lake District, the more it makes me want to go back, and it just gets me excited. We still need to tick off some Wainwrights. Forget camping, Well, don't forget camping. Definitely do some camping, but more to the point, we need to go tick some of them off because we're already a quarter away in the year, pretty much. And I've not done that many this year so far. But anyway, to cut a long story short, what I'm trying to say is, don't worry, the Mountain Lake District camps will be coming very soon. What is this? This is a strange little seat. Is that a seat? What is that? Bit of Hades wall here, look. Oh, I'm in no rush to see any of that wall ever again, to be honest. Nah, it wasn't bad, it wasn't bad. Decent hike, that. Oh, we've got a plaque, we've got a plaque. It could happen, therefore it did. What? It could happen, therefore it did. November 2017. I guess it makes sense. It could happen, therefore it did. This is stunning, this right now, in the sun as well. Sun's out, guns out. Look at that down there by that little stream. Be a lovely little spot that, you know. Nice pitch down there. I know you probably shouldn't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda and all that. Now we're getting higher, up in peaks. You're coming down peaks, lad. Up to peaks. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It was only a matter of time. Every time. Pennine Way. Down there. And Pennine Way, the way we're going. I think we're following the Pennine Way now all the way to Black Hill. I've had a look on map and I think it's just behind this one here. So as we sort of get round, we might be able to see it. It's definitely in that direction. That little sliver there, that could even be part of it. You know, that's further back, but I don't think it is. It's not showing up on the app that I was bloody ranting and raving about a minute ago anyway. Shite. So hard to do that on your phone without a tripod. Wobbling about all over the place, but for those sort of long distance landscape shots, my phone's well better than this camera. It just picks up so much more detail. Whereas this is better for motion, like for when you're walking or running or whatever. Basically the stabilisation is a lot better on this, which is why it's perfect. Perfect action camera for what we're doing, a bit of action. Can you see that? There's a road up there. That's where I'm hoping to get the taxi from later on. And I'm also hoping that as we get higher, I'm going to get some signal, because at the moment it's SOS mode only, which is pretty poor, isn't it? But I guess we're in this little valley, so reception isn't always great, which just goes to show why you should always have the maps downloaded. I've got them downloaded on my phone and on the watch, which is cool. I get asked all the time in the comments, and I get messages on Instagram asking me, what watch do you use for navigating? So it's a Garmin Fenix 7X Pro Solar. So it's identical to the last one that I had. I had the 6X Pro Solar, but it wouldn't update. No matter what I did, I've contacted Garmin, it just wouldn't update. So I decided to just go for the 7X Pro Solar. So there you go. And the app that I use is the same app that I've always used. Ow, ankle wankle. It's the Footpath app. And then I just export the GPX file. So I'll create the route, I'll import the GPX file into the Footpath app. And then you press export GPX file and you can just send it straight to the Garmin Connect app, which is linked with your watch. So then when you sync it, it'll go on your watch and then you can just follow it. And the best thing is with the Footpath app, you can write little notes to yourself, so you can just click on map and just write something like, I don't know, co-op. Or if a co-op's there, you can select co-op and get it to show, so that when you're hiking, it'll literally say, you look on map and you'll see that there's a co-op coming in the distance. Or sometimes if I know there's going to be like a water source, I will write on it water source, so that when I'm hiking, I can then see it on the map. And when I scroll to this screen, it says up ahead, finish 3.28 miles. If I've wrote something like water source, it'll say how far until whatever I've wrote. So if the water source were in a mile, it'd say water source 1 mile. So I think that's really cool. So like when I'm doing a multi-day hike with some camping, I might like write camp 1 ? Just if I've got like an idea of a spot that I might be able to camp at. I did it when I went to Iceland. When I went to Iceland, I put all the huts, you know, all the camping areas that you're allowed to camp at, I put all them down on the route, so that when I was walking, I just knew how long I was going to be. Bag of shite. Just so I knew how long I was going to be to the next hut or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's the Garmin Fenix 7X Pro Solar. Bit of a mouthful, but it's a good one. I like it. And with this one, a little upgrade from the 6. The 7 is touchscreen. Not that you really need it, because all the buttons do exactly the same as the 6X does. So if you want the touchscreen, go for the 7. I just can't believe the contrast from where we were earlier on today. In the back streets of Huddersfield, in those industrial areas. Mattresses on the floor and that, rubbish everywhere. Proper shit tip. No offence if you live there. Not Huddersfield in general, obviously. I just mean the areas where people are fly tipping in comparison to this. But that's why I've really liked this hike, because it's just been totally different. Just variation to all the senses. What we can feel beneath us feet is completely different. The sounds we're hearing are completely different. None of that industrial racket or the town centre traffic. We've just got the nice little breeze. Every now and then a little tweeting bird flying past. Obviously what we can see is vastly different. And what we can smell is different as well. Still smell a little bit of shit, but it's a different type of shit. It's good shit, not that stinky piss-ridden mattress sort of shit. Just remember guys, if you happen to fall in one of these reservoirs, do not swim. It tells you, do not swim. I think it just wants you to drown instead. Oh, fair play, man. This guy, he just came up to me, right? He had a printout of, he like screenshots of loads of photos of this area. And he's looking for that reservoir. I mean, no, he's looking for that waterfall. I did film it earlier on. And he was like, whereabouts is it? I'm like, you just need to keep following this path down. And what he'd done is, he'd mixed up his pieces of paper, so they weren't in the right order. So he's walking about looking for this waterfall. Yeah, I told him to just carry on and you'll find it. And then he said, how many minutes? It's tough, innit? I don't know. I said about 20. I ain't got a clue if it was 15 or 45. Fair play though, at least he's trying to be prepared. He's printing a map off or whatever. Well, they want a map, it was just like screenshots. It was just photos of the area, maybe like a guide or something. I don't know. But it wasn't in right order. And half of the photos just look the same, don't they? Out here. I don't know why the hell I set off at 5 o'clock this morning. Well, like 10 to 6 from where I started filming. I must have well overestimated how long this was going to take. But I just had no idea. I knew it were over 26 miles. So I just thought it's going to take all day. Let's set off as early as possible. Because I didn't know how many breaks I was going to have, where I was going to stop off to eat or whatever, how long it was going to take. So obviously the earlier you set off, the more time you're going to have. It's now 2:15. And we're only like 2.2 miles away from the end. Now bearing in mind, we are going to have to hike like 2 miles back this way towards this road to get a Joe Baxi. But still, I think I well overestimated how long it was going to take. I was bloody worried about missing apprentice final and that. But we should be alright with that. If I can't get home to Bradford for 9 o'clock tonight, when it's 2:15 now, something has gone drastically wrong. Touch wood. That ain't gonna happen. I think that's it, me guys. Right there. I think that's Black Hill. Is a taxi going to pick me up from here? I don't know. I mean, there's a little car park there, so as long as I can pinpoint where I am, I don't see it being a problem, as long as there's some Ubers in the area, which I guess they can come from Huddersfield or Marsden if there's any knocking about. Right, let's cross this busy road anyway, otherwise we're not getting back for apprentice if I get flattened. That's us. Black Hill. The first time I've seen a sign for it. Black Hill, 1 3/4 mile. Pennine Way. That means we've got to do at least 3.5 miles to get back to this point, and that's if we can get a taxi here. There you up. Someone's having a bad day, man. Out there. You cannot lose your shoe out here and not be having a bad day. That is awful. Is this the first proper gate of the day? Like the proper hiking gate of the day? Well, it could be. I'm going to lock it behind me so I'm not a tit. Alright then, let's go for it. Black Hill, here we go. The highest point in West Yorkshire. The county that I live in. I don't know what that big fucker is up there, but I hope there's a trig point. It would be nice that I'd just top it off that. Come on, there can't be too many more of them now, can there? We're nearly there, we've nearly done it. From my front door as well. Mad shit. I'll tell you what else I've just realised as well. This is the furthest away from my house that I have hiked from my house, if that makes sense. From setting off on a morning on foot, no public transport whatsoever. This has got to be the furthest I have hiked away from where I live, easily. I've hiked for longer because when I did the Calderdale Way, that's like 50 miles or so, and I set off on foot from my house to do that because I'm not too far away from a section of it, so I just hiked to that, jumped on the trail and then completed it and hiked home. So obviously I've done further distance wise when I've set off from my house, but as far as like away from my house, this is easily the furthest. Look at this. This is cool. This is a cool hike. Are you enjoying this? You probably are, I guess. If you're still watching now, you must be. Surely. Either that or you just proper like dedicated to the channel. Either way, big ups to you. Anyone that is watching now, honestly, you lot are the best. And never let anybody tell you any different. Remember when I said I'd definitely get home in time for apprentice? If I fall down here and do myself a mischief, I could miss it. So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm taking it easy. I'm going to end up with a wet foot. I've gone all this way without getting wet, and I want that to continue, to be honest. But it was the slimiest, slippiest. Oh, it's alright, we've done it. Nothing to worry about yet. That's it. Needs a little bit of improvement, that. If anyone's sorting Pennine Way out, get it sent down here. A couple of slabs will do nicely. Or even better, just a little bridge, a little footbridge across this section and go down a tree. Because we've got a couple more little slippy sections here as well. Luckily there's some stepping stones that are doing nicely. But yeah, if you can just get a bridge built there, a little footbridge, that'd be nice. Here we are. How far have we got? Oh, I thought we weren't far off the top then. We're nowhere near. Mugged myself. Still got nearly a mile and a half. Over a mile and a half. Shit! Whoa, yeah, we're going all the way up there. So we've just come down from the road. Zigzagging round. At least the path is really, really nice. Apart from that little bit when you need to build a bridge, the rest of it is spot on. No complaints from me with these slabs. I wasn't expecting all these ups and downs. I thought it was just going to be up, up and up. Here we go then. What is going on here? How slippy is that going to be? Not that slippy. We need to do that in a wunner. That's alright. Sound is that. Whew. Here goes. Got to be the last little climbing section of the day. I've just got a wet foot. It could have been worse because I could have twisted my ankle, but the front of my foot just fell in there. It's fine because we've nearly done. We've got less than a mile, 0.88 mile, but still, that could have been bad, that. Can't believe we're not even there yet. This last 2 mile feels like it's taken forever. And by the way, guys, we've officially done over 26.2 mile. So that is a marathon in the bag. That's a big tick. Buzzing. Sick. Oh, we've got a cairn. There's a cairn there. There's another cairn there. We can't be far off now. So as I'm sure you can tell by the wind, I don't know if you can hear that, we're now sort of on the plateau, but we're just not quite at the summit yet. 0.44 mile away, but by far the majority of the ascent is over and done with. Surely the last gate. Woo! I think I just got a glimpse of a trig point. Let me double check in a minute. I'm sure I could see one. Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I can see one. It's still a little bit away. Oh no, look at this bog. Look at this. There's always a final obstacle in there. I'm going to take a wide berth. I ain't dying in that. I just don't want to. I cannot be arsed. I'll go as wide as I need to go. Oh no. If we get wet feet, we get wet feet. I'm not bothered about that so much. Yeah, I've got wet feet. As long as we get through, back to the path. It's there, look. Can you see it? Can you see the trig point? Yup, trigger! Trigger! I'm gonna run. Shall we run? Let's run. We're here. Yes. Here it is. The last little bit. Come on! Oh, mate. Let me get up here. Oh. Yes, guys, we have done it. From my house back in Bradford to the highest point in West Yorkshire. Black Hill. I'm not sure why it gets its name, but it's a big old hill. And it is the perfect end to a fantastic day's hiking. Boom shanker, what are we saying? Have a bit of that, Black Hill. Lovely jubbly. So that is mission complete. I am proper buzzing with that. What a day. Now I've just got to hike back another couple miles and hopefully I can get myself a Joe Baxi. And I'd love to show you the epic views from up here, but because it's such a flat plateau, you can't really see out on this camera. Maybe when I get further this way I'll be able to show you. Oh, and the sun is out as well. Perfect. Right guys, it's probably a good time for me to wrap up this video. You don't need to see me walking back to Whip when you've just seen back to Whip. The Whip isn't even there. You don't need to see me walking back to the road for where I'm hopefully going to get a taxi. So I just want to thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. It does not go unnoticed whatsoever. Make sure you do all the usual stuff. Smash that thumbs up button, drop a like on the video. Don't forget to comment, let me know what you think. And if you aren't subscribed, then maybe consider it. It is completely free to subscribe and it really does help the channel out. Don't forget to hype as well. Hype man ting. Do all that hyping shit. And if there's anything that you could do, if you're still watching right now, just do me a massive favour and head on over to the Fjeltrex Instagram. It's at Fjeltrex or Feltrex, however you want to pronounce it. Fjeltrex is the correct way, but most people say Feltrex. And give it a follow or a like, whatever you do. Yeah, a follow on Instagram, even Facebook as well. Check it out on Facebook. And same again, give it a like or a follow or whatever it is you do on Facebook these days. I think they both follow, aren't they? So follow on Instagram and follow on Facebook. That will be massively appreciated. So that's at Fjeltrex. But anyway, guys and girls, that's it from me. I love you all. Hopefully I'll see you next Monday at 7 PM. Thanks for watching. Peace out. In a bit. Maybe delete the bit that says Fjeltrex or Feltrex and just stick with the Fjeltrex, because that's how it's supposed to be said. Don't be confusing people, man. Yeah, delete that bit, don't forget. Here, look at this view now. You can see a stunning little view. I want to know what that is. I'm going to have a look. I'll have a look online. I might even write it here, if I remember. It's me again. Right, this time I'm off. In a bit. So Mr. Abid is going to pick me up in 10 minutes. And it takes an hour and 15 minutes to drive home. I'm kind of regretting having 3 lattes. I hope Mr. Abid puts his toe down, put it that way.
This is The Night It All Pays Off. Now on BBC One, 2 Visions, 1 Investment.